Hello again, everyone. I'm Richard Weil, and welcome to the NRC Helpful Moment, number 188th edition. And as always, we welcome in Mr. Brian Devine from CafeFuel and Top Line Management. How are you, Brian? I understand you're not the greatest today, and
not the best.
Not the best, but we all worked through it. And appreciate
tail end of COVID,
as always, being our technical director, and ace in the hole. And again, my name is Richard Weil, and I am the principal and owner of Natural Restaurant Consultants. And I'm very thrilled. I think this is his third time in his short time with Natural Restaurant Consultants. Yeah. Mr. Steve Pierce, all the way from Seattle, Washington, in Natural Restaurant Consultants Senior Consultant, is joining us. Steve, how are you this afternoon?
Doing well. Like I said, I was just commiserating with Brian on his illness. It's almost nice to know that I don't have that this time, so that's good.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, and hopefully it's not going to be anything too serious, but just inconvenient. I think that's the main thing, inconvenient.
Yeah. So far.
So today's topic, and Steve has been working on some topics for us, and I'm going to let him. I don't want to steal his thunder, but he's going to talk about 4 ways restaurant automation labor, and I'm going to go ... and let him take it from there. So, Steve, take it away, please.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've been doing we all had to get through COVID. And we've all been dealing with a lot of things coming out of COVID today's world, we're having trouble finding enough staff. So I've been doing a lot of research and had to do a lot of research for some of the clients I've had. And it really seems like the world has kind of changed. 5 or 6 years ago, what we're going to talk about, we were getting vilified for replacing employees with technology, and we were taking people's jobs away, et cetera. But now it's completely opposite. We can't get enough people in these buildings to offer the service, the standards, and everything we want that the guest expects without going to these technologies. So what we're really going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about today, is how technology is and can and should be affecting the way we deliver our world, our restaurant world. Obviously the first thing that took place, and this was happening all before COVID, and it's getting there a little bit more now, but the self-service ordering and the way people can pay now, it's amazing how much has taken place with that world. It's not just the going into the local fast food joint and playing with a kiosk. I mean, you've got all kinds of restaurants, whether they are single unit, whether they're full service, quick service. They've got everything from the tablet that somebody orders at the counter and pays, to servers in full service restaurants coming to the table and taking care of the bill, taking care of the order, and taking care of the bill. And there's even technology now. You do it all on your phone, sitting at the table. You don't have to talk to anybody until they show up with your food. So that piece of the puzzle, it's giving us enough of an opportunity by taking some of the time frame off of the staff, what little you have, so that they can be more guest forward and not be, in the people that aren't doing these things, the server is taking the order, going back to the POS, ringing it up, taking up all that time. There's all the back and forth that's being eliminated. So time being the critical factor there. So that's really one of the biggest ways that we're seeing, and whether it's QSR, fast casual, or full service, is all this self-service, for lack of a better word, whether it's tablets, kiosks, those kind of things. The next one that really has, I tell you, I spent months and months working on when I was during COVID to get this stuff up and running in some full service restaurants, is the online ordering integration. Mm-hmm. Getting it integrated with the kitchen and the in-store processes. Anybody that has not done that yet, you're killing yourself, because getting those orders to come in, to integrate with the order process to where it goes straight to the kitchen, getting all of these things happening, you eliminate so many mistakes. You eliminate so much time and labor that's involved in re-entering things. You don't want to have the 4 or 5 tablets sitting out there in the host or the to-go area where they're filling all that stuff up. I mean, to me, this is probably one of the best things out there, is the way services have been developed now that can not only integrate your own stuff, your own orders that come in on your own website, but even taking all of the third-party delivery services and taking it in now. And that this is huge. 3-4 years ago, before COVID hit us, we were on a slow path to this thing, and it was a battle trying to get anything to go. But it accelerated it to such an extent that there's nobody, whether you're a single operator, a chain, or anybody else, there's no reason to not be able to do this at a very cost-effective manner. And it's just the costs have come down so much on this point. So that's probably number two, the second main way that technology has been positively affecting our restaurants, because it's seamless and it's really not affecting the guest experience. If anything, it's enhancing it, because that counter person is talking to the guest at the counter as opposed to reordering stuff that have just come in, for instance.
Right.
There's some great programs out there that are now allowing us to do a lot with labeling and order management and those kind of things as well. And that's another big piece of this, is getting all of that kitchen stuff out of the way. Your order comes in, you've got a label, or you're doing your prep list. You can print out the labels that are going to be done when the prep is done. All of those kind of things. It's a minute here, it's 5 minutes there. You start to add that up, and all of a sudden you've got some real time involved. And that being the case, you're able to let the people that need to be guest forward or kitchen, hands-on in the kitchen, they're able to do their job better, as opposed to doing a lot of the tedious stuff that's out there. And, lastly, for me anyway, as far as where the impacts have been, is there's been so much automation of the kitchen management side. I already talked about it with, labeling, prep, this kind of stuff, but there's also, monitoring everything that goes on in these kitchens now is done at a touch of a finger, a touch of a button. I mean, whether you're monitoring the temperatures of your equipment, to you are ensuring that your prep loads are being done properly, because you've got programs in your operating system in the back that keeps up with these things. You can do a line check with a Bluetooth and Bluetooth probe and register all the temps, and you can know that everything was done. There's just so much accountability that's there as well. And again, all of that being done on an automation basis, it's just saving the time, the hours. And when you go to think about that, an hourly wage, I'm out here in Seattle where, even the front of house is making $17-18 an hour. And, back of house, you're looking in the mid 20s in a lot of places nationwide. So if you can knock one full-time employee off of the costs, you're talking $25,000-$30,000 annualized. And that's if you had the ability to even have that employee to start with. So
I think
areas I see it.
I think therein lies the point here.
Mm-hmm.
That is, sure, this could be job elimination. People could certainly say we're hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is, well, this is jobs that need to be done, and we don't simply have the workforce available to get these jobs done. Now, the level of components that Steve's referred to, Brian and I have been doing this for 2.5 years now, and for the first 6 months, we started talking about touchless, cashless payments. What do you do at the table to keep your guests feeling safe? And those systems, and online ordering, and takeout, and curb pickup, and all those things that Steve's referring to, they haven't gone away.
Right.
In fact, it's enhanced. And then the integration of your point of sale system to your online ordering system, to be able to integrate it off your website or whatever mechanism they're using to contact. And that is a segue off to Brian right now. And this is what I'm doing. Now, Brian, I know you got a bad cough and a cold and et cetera, and the crud. Take a couple minutes of not killing your voice, but just to further enhance this conversation.
Yeah, thanks, Richard, and thanks, Steve. I think I just want to cover just 2 quick points. Number one is that if you're in a situation where you're able to put automation in place and you know that you are replacing a person, just get in front of it in your marketing. Tell people about it, because people are going to be curious as to what you're doing. And if what you're doing is making improvements in the quality of your food, improvements in the quality of your service, improvements to how you treat your customers, tell them that, right? So don't let people find out and think that you're doing something that you shouldn't be. Get in front of it and talk to people about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I know 3 restaurants not far from here that have had to close because they couldn't get people to work. And I think that's an important thing to be talking about, because people don't understand that. They don't know that. So you really want to be telling people that. So you're doing these things not only to create a better experience for them, but you're also doing it so you get to stay in business. And I think it's important that you put that into your marketing, put that into your social media, put that on your website, because people are curious about this stuff. So if you just put it out in front, then I think you're going to be in really good shape. The second thing I wanted to cover is that the tool that we use, and the free version of the tool, it has more integrations now because we needed to solve that problem. And so now, rather than having like DoorDash tablet or Uber Eats tablet, it all integrates directly into the software. And then we are now building out new integrations to whatever your point of sale is, so that you can have it all just directly flow right into what you currently have. So if that is something that is of value to you, you'd like to learn more, just get in touch with us. But like I said, the free version does like 90% of what you need. And there's things that we can add on that do have costs, but because they have costs associated to us. But I just want you to know that if you're thinking about some of these things and you're looking at, well, we got these 3 tablets, can we get rid of at least 2 of them? The answer is yes. And we can do it really easily.
Yeah. And to Steve's point, don't just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't do nothing because you don't think you could afford it. You can't afford not to do something on any of these 3 or 4 points that Steve made. Some of them do have costs. Sure, there's more expensive things. You start putting Bluetooth on your line and monitoring and cameras and things like that, of course.
Yeah.
But what Brian Devine's talking to, those things could be as little as free. So between free and a little bit and a lot more investment, don't do nothing. And now that we're sitting here in October of 2022, coming up into we're in the 4th quarter. We're in 7 quarters of COVID. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. That's the point. So the NRC Helpful Moment is really what about automation in terms of using restaurant automation for labor, to address labor, but most importantly, to address service, to address marketing, to address sales, to address growth, and to address your success moving forward. So does anybody have anything else, Steve or Brian?
I think we're good.
I think we've summed it up pretty good.
I think you guys were amazing today. And as usual, we thank you for joining the NRC Helpful Moment number 188. So long for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Thanks.